In the previous session, we all agreed that the kings also want things of value, and the kings are those who pay most in the financial space. But for you to be paid by the king, you need to know how to attract the king. And if perhaps you don't get to meet with the king by chance, you need someone who knows you in the palace who can recommend you to the king when the need arises. So we are picking straight from where we stopped. And the first question we're dealing with tonight is, if you want to offer value to kings, you must have track records. The king wants to work based on your track records. Don't forget, these are those who pay you the most. These are those who are willing to pay the most for the value you have to offer. And they don't want to pay you based on what you say you can do, but based on what you've actually done. The kings don't want to pay you based on what you say you can do, but based on the results you have. So the question is, what is the track record of your value? That value you say you have to offer, what is your track record of that value? How many people have you successfully served that value to? Who can come out to say, yes, I tasted of this person's value and then indeed I got value for my money? Who can step up and say, King, I can assure you, if this person gets the project, you will be really satisfied at the end of the project. What's your track record? I see the mistake a lot of us make. Our social media platforms are so dry. No track record of what we say we represent. You can't tell me you're into music. Excuse me. You can't tell me you're into music and you want me who is a king in the industry to invest in your music career. But yet I go to your page and no single post shows you either doing a freestyle of your music to yourself, like a mono performance, nor you displaying your skills out there, even if it is in a small gathering. You can't get to serve the kings without a track record. Don't forget the examples we cited during our last session. Joseph was able to reveal dreams, was able to interpret dreams to fellow prisoners. David was playing so well even in the forest that he was recommended. What is your track record of that business you say you are doing, of that gift you say you have, of that product you say you can make possible? People want to see what you have to offer. So I need you to start checking your social media platforms. Start checking wherever you put your post out. What is my track record? When companies want to recruit people, recruit staffs, they ask you to submit your CV. Your CV is actually meant to review your track record, the job we want to give to you, and what the paper you are submitting. Do they align? Does it show that, does your track record shows that you have what it takes to get this job done? In the same way, in the financial space, you must have track records that kings can look into. And in this digital age, one of these places you want to make your track record known is in digital space. You want to build your profile so well with past results on your digital platforms, on your social media platforms, so that when your names are being mentioned to the king, when your brand is being mentioned to the king can always go through and swipe through and say, okay, this makes sense. Just today, I helped someone, a friend, seal a deal. She hasn't worked for me personally, but then I got to know her some years back with what she does, and then someone else called me, Kate, I need someone who does this. And I looked through, okay, and I scanned and I remember, okay, I think I met someone who said she does something like this. All I needed to do is go to her page on Instagram, send the link page to the person who needs the service. The person went through, felt satisfied, and said, Kate, let's work with this person. That's it. That's what track record can do. Imagine there was nothing to go check out. Someone else definitely gets that job. So who have you served with your gift? Who have you served that value you want to offer to kings? Because those are the ways you build your track records. So the next question now is, if a need arises at the palace, can you provide solution? Remember we said the kings, the most certain place you meet a king is in the palace, because that is where he rules, that is where he dominates, that is where he lives, that is where he gives orders. If a need arises at the palace now, can you provide solution? Do you have what it takes to provide solution when a need arises in the palace? I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. Okay, fine. A need has shown up. Can you provide solution? Those things you say you can you do it so skillfully? Can you offer that value so well that it meets with the standard of the palace? Don't forget, your track record is helping you build towards getting to the palace, getting to those who can pay you the most for whatever it is you offer. But while building your track record, you might work on small projects, mid-range projects here and there, just to build your track record. But when the king needs your value, needs your service, you can't afford to serve the king like you're serving a beggar. No. Remember, this person is paying the most, is willing to pay the most for what you are offering. So, are you sharpening your skills so well? Is that your product so good to meet the taste of these high class people? You know what you do, but when it comes to meeting the taste of high class people, can you actually serve it? Then, do you speak the language of the kings? Two key things the kings appreciate so much. Kings are always watching out for excellence and integrity. Kings are always on the lookout for excellence and integrity. Excellence in the sense that they want something distinct, they want something, if not perfect, almost perfect. They want something shiny, they want something that makes them stand out from the crowd. So when you are preparing that thing you want to prepare for the king, will the touch of excellence show? A king cannot just wear a top like a layman will wear it. There must be a touch of excellence. You can't afford to go to the king's house and it's just looking like an ordinary house. No, there must be a form of a touch of excellence in there. So, do you speak the language of the king? When we start discussing, do we feel excellence in what you do, or just do it for just render your service like, okay, let's just render service? No. All you do might just be graphics, but does the graphics stand out? All you do might just be music, but does your music stand out? A whole lot of people go for auditions, but kings that are there watching are watching, looking out for some specific things. That's how people win through audition and they become global brands in music or in acting. Because that's talent. They say talent that can deliver excellence. You speak the language of the king, and are you a person of integrity? Kings don't have time running after you when you've been paid for service. A king does not want to give you a job and have to check up on you every now and then to be sure if you have done it or not. No, kings don't have time. They're out there in the financial space making more money for themselves, building legacies, making impact. So they can't now be using that same time, energy, and effort which they need to do those things to now start running after you to deliver the service for which you've been paid. A whole lot of people have had access to king, but the one time opportunity they had, integrity, took them out of the way. Kings want people with integrity, people who will get the job done the way it should be done. You can't tell me you're an architect or you're a building contractor and then someone is willing to put a whole building in your hands and then you begin to look for for equipment or for materials that are below standard just because you want to get so much gain. And then at the end of the day, you are delivering the project to the owner, and then barely 6 months down the line, the house is already cracking and all. You can't get an estate contract from such a person. It must be someone who values excellence and integrity. And then when you are serving kings, you don't just serve kings, your value. Those who serve kings have beyond talents. They have beyond just the skill. Anybody can offer that same service you want to offer. Anybody can produce that same product you want to produce. But the question is, do you know how to interact with the king? Do you know how to offer value in a valuable way? Not just about take it. It's about the way you dress it. It's just like in the regular palace. When you serve another person in a normal plate and they are probably using their hands to eat or something, or they are using a plastic spoon to eat, you don't expect that the king too will dip his hand and start eating, or you just tell him you to take plastic spoon and start eating. No, it doesn't work that way. This king spoon has to be showing that no, this is for the king. The way you deliver what you deliver is important. Whatever it is you are offering must be delivered in a valuable way. That is beyond talent. And you must know how to interact freely with kings. Don't come around the king and then you are looking moody or you are burning or you are no. Kings once they don't want to force the energy. They have people, they have wealth in their space. They have people of value, people of same and caliber in their space. So you can't be coming for their help and then be playing the god role. No, they ditch you. So you must know how to serve the kings. And do you have what the king really needs? Most time people say, I want to meet this, I want to meet that. People begin to mention big names. But the question is, if you meet that big man you want to meet today, if perchance fate brings you and that wealthy person together in the same space today, do you really have what that person needs? Do you really have it? It is one thing to meet a person, it's another thing to have what the person needs. The kings also need people, but if you are not valuable to them, you are not necessarily needed in their space. So yes, like challenging question to you. If you are called for at the palace now, are you ready? If you are called for at the palace right now, like right now, are you ready? Like, we've been hearing the noise, somebody has finally spoken about you to the king and what you do. Now come to the palace, you're needed. Now come and deliver that service you say you deliver. Come and deliver that product you say you know how well to do. That big brand is calling for your attention. That big company is telling you to come and get the job done. Are you ready? I'm a building contractor now. Come and handle 10 estates at the same time. Are you ready? That value, that service, that product you say you can deliver, that you are making noise all about. If the kings call for your attention now, are you ready? Joseph didn't need to go and pray and fast for a week or pray and fast for a month before going to attend to the king. No. The instant he was called for, he cleaned up, shaved, and then straight to the palace. It was ready. When those big opportunity comes, when those big offers come, are you ready to key into them? Do you have what it takes to key into them? I'll close with this. Kings introduce you to kings. Kings introduce you to kings. If you really want to work with kings, all you need to do is not to offer value to a king, and that king will introduce you to the next king, because kings move with kings. The same way eagles fly with eagles, kings also move with kings. Once you know how to serve your value to a king, he will surely introduce you to the next king, and to the next king, and to the next king. That's where we stop tonight. I said it was going to be brief. So thank you for listening. Stay financially free. Stay financially sharp. Stay in the financial space. Remember, the generation failed you in the place of finance. You cannot afford to fail the next generation. So I come on your way again. Stay blessed. I love you all. Bye.